Good day to you one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins. I've developed this weird habit of manipulating the microphone, holding it and moving it around. I don't know why I'm doing that, actually. I'll figure it out. Anyway, today I'm talking about Devin Townsend, about whom three words are commonly used: prolific, also work ethic, and I'm going to look at why. Funnily enough, I know one of his band members intimately, not intimately, but well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to covering this. Justin Hawkins rides again. Exquisite. All right now, so yeah, I had I've just had a really, really productive and exhausting weekend. One of those periods of time when you think, how did I squeeze all that stuff in there? I had to record the Christmas song for the Christmas edition of Dreams on Toast, the next Darkness album, and I created a brilliant choir for this Christmas song, which included the voice of my daughter singing in it. Now, it was such a thrill. I was recording her and just tears in my eyes. I was welling up. It was so nice. Mainly relieved because, you know, she's obviously inherited my voice and not that of her foghorn mother. I'm only joking. Doesn't matter about that. However prolific and busy I've been, it's nothing compared to Canadian musician and producer Devin Townsend. He's renowned for his fusion of metal, progressive rock and ambient music in a career spanning more than 30 years, beginning with his work with Steve Vai and continuing with the extreme metal band Strapping Young Lad. The Devin Townsend Band, the Devin Townsend Project, and country duo Casualties of Cool. Numerous solo works, including a forthcoming rock opera called The Moth, which he'll perform with a full orchestra in a one-off show in March, and has released more than 30 albums, which is about one a year. His last album was PowerNerd.
There are certain personality traits or proclivities that one may have that perhaps society deems as being weakness, whether or not that's empathy or hypersensitivity or something. You turn those tendencies into a superpower. So if you're hypersensitive, your hypersensitivity becomes your superpower. It's about harnessing it to be able to recognize the ways in which you're different and not view that as being a liability, but rather view it as being a strength. That's the definition of power.
Okay, so speaking about his process in making the album, he said, I gave myself parameters for PowerNerd. I gave myself 12 days to write it. Oh my God, 1 day to rehearse it. Darby Todd came in from the UK. Now, Darby Todd, of course, is a drummer that I'm really familiar with. He's the person I alluded to earlier when I said I knew one of his band members, and Darby's worked with me on lots of different musical projects over the years. He actually stepped in and played for the Darkness for a bit when we were down a drummer, and he was in the band Hot Leg that I did in between the Darkness when we had a hiatus. Anyway, Darby Todd came from the UK, and then 2.5 days to track drums, bass and guitar. Now, Darby is a person who is weirdly talented. You only have to tell him once how a song goes and then he'll nail it first time. And when you analyse Darby's drumming using Pro Tools, it's just so accurate and right on the money all the time. He's very, 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 very brilliant. Anyway, so then he had 2.5 days to track drums, bass and guitar. And if it was to not work, it would have been a colossal failure. But I'm happy to say it's exceptionally heavy and exceptionally cool. Wow. All right, so let me have a look at the actual song and get into it. It does this thing like I would presume that he's detuned everything as semitone, because it sort of plays like an E. I don't know if you can see my fingers, but this is much higher up. It's probably an octave or two up from this. And then it has this lovely dissonant note, and then the riff is some. So I suppose that's another ostinato. What does that remind me of? Love is in the air. No, it's not that. I could put the guitar down at this point. I've disgraced myself. Yes, everything's detuned a semi, and I think the bass is detuned an extra tone on the E string to that, because it's a boom 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 dum dum. It's just really fun to listen to, isn't it? I never get tired of doing human beatbox, and this is a joy. You know, I always talk about, like, when there's the fact that there's two separate sort of music industries. I always think there's one which has got the silty sewage pop music, and there's always one where these sort of jazz level musicians are doing stuff that's kind of poppy and challenging and interesting, and they don't have the kind of audience that the pop music has. And then you get visionaries like Devin Townsend who exist outside of that. And the reason why I know about Devin Townsend is because, like, more or less every elite level kind of session musician that I'm aware of is a huge fan of his, and obviously my friend Darby plays drums for him now, but it's he's a name that comes up, but only in conversations with people who really, really know how to play their instruments, you know. I mean, some of this is kind of like, there's a certain era of 9 Inch Nails that this reminds me of, something from Downward Spiral or something, but it's sort of more fun than that, really. There's a lot less sounds of people being beaten in the background, and, you know, ghostly kind of ethereal drone notes and things happening, but it's there's something in it that's sort of like, I don't know, maybe it's just the saturation on the voice that's reminded me of that. Just coming into a guitar solo, so I better brace myself. It's obviously going to be amazing. Okay, so to me that sounds like it's in the... If I had to guess, I'm going to say it's going to be the D sharp minor pentatonic. Yeah, I was right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is rock and roll music, but done metal, I think. Because listen to the way that the chorus and that pre-chorus and everything worked. It wouldn't be out of place on something like an Aerosmith album, like maybe Pump or Permanent Vacation, certainly. I like thinking about turning your flaws into superpowers, and like if sensitivity is considered a flaw. I mean, it's a really inspiring song in that respect, isn't it? What is it? What key's that in? Not dissimilar to I Hate Myself by The Darkness. I love that sort of stuff. It's when you go for, like, it sounds a bit status quo-y, but really it's you take the fifth and then you rise it to the sixth and then you go back down again. There. And the faster you do it, the more fun it is. And he's doing it quite fast, I'd say. What the fuck is going on? Okay, let me look at these lyrics a second. I love petting the cat, petting the cat, petting the cat. My cute and furry hell fury, petting the cat, meow, whoa, yeah, petting the cat, petting the cat, petting the cat, petting the cat. All these things we say to ourselves, time to rise, put that shit on the shelf. All those years spent down in a hole, time for life and rock and roll. Through all those dark years alone, time for light. I do hope that's not a euphemism. Well, it won't be. I think that's probably the first time I've properly... to be honest, I've heard a couple of things from that record that Darby shared with me. It's some really impressive arrangements on there. This seems to be the most simple of the Devin Townsend stuff that I've heard so far. And I loved it. I thought it's like up-tempo, rock and roll, and so impressive that he recorded it in such a short time. This is a prolific... It's a prolific artist. That's putting it mildly, I think. And some of my friends have been talking about strapping young lad for years. It's hard to imagine being able to do all that stuff and do it well. But he's got the best people around him. He's obviously got millions of ideas, and he's a great artist. Use the comment section below to tell me what you think of Devin Townsend, and let me know if that's the first or the 100th or the millionth time you've heard that name. He's just a guy that seems to be omnipresent in that part of the music trade, which where the most impressive players reside, and he's obviously one of them. Fantastic stuff. All right, yeah, I'll do the theme tune. That's the wrong key. Justin Hawkins rides again. Yeah. I think that's a good exercise in surrounding yourself with greatness. I mean, his ideas are brilliant, but to be able to realise them so prolifically, you've got to have great musicians around you, especially if you've only given yourself 12 days to record an album and it sounds like that. That's absolutely amazing. Yeah, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and watch one of these two videos. All right, guys, I'll see you later. See you on the ice. That's it. Okay.